Okay, the second practice test that I gave you was a past SAC that we did in Year 12, and fairly straightforward. So what we had to identify was the operating, investing and financing from the cash at bank transactions. So you simply go through and so we did the investing, right? You're looking for any proceeds from the sale of a non-current asset here, which will kick in Unit 4. Over here, you're looking for the purchase of any non-current asset, which is obviously your shelving. So that is your investing activity. Then you jump up and have a look for any financing. So that will be loans and capital. So there are your two inflows as your financing, and drawings and loan repayments will be your other two in the financing section, which are your outflows. And that's it. And the rest are obviously operating activities, your internal cash generation by the business. Right? So investing is the purchase of non-current assets. Financing relates to the financial structure of the business in terms of how is the business being funded, internal by the owner, and what the owner takes out, and also what is being contributed by debt, and the amount of repayment of that debt is in the financing activities. All right, so that is hopefully pretty easy. So you then put that together in your statement of cash flows, like so. All right, and your net cash flows from operating activities, which is your internal cash generation. If I get this pen to work, why it takes forever sometimes, I have no idea. Alright, so your internal cash generation, so your net cash from operations. So again, that is not good. So we're not generating any cash internally. So that's a major concern. Notice in this solutions, it's got debtors and stock, which I'll fix up for when I publish it on the on MASCOM. Net cash flows from investing activities, which is just the purchase of the shelving, and then you've got the financing activities, net cash from financing, which is a positive number, which makes sense because we're running a bit short, so we need to contribute some money either by debt or by the owner putting money into the bank, and the overall result was 2153 bank balance at the end. So hopefully that wasn't any difficulty at all. We then jump down to the usual questions, usually a definition of one of the three activities. So explain the importance of a positive net cash flows from operating for a trading business. So what you're obviously going to talk about is that the net cash from operating activities is the internal cash generated by the business. So your inflows compared to your outflows. And you can see here that if I don't generate enough cash, then the only way this business can survive is to keep going into debt, either bank overdrafts, taking out loans, or the owner has to contribute capital. Otherwise, it's got to look at ways it's slowing down the outflows, so cutting back on paying accounts payable. So none of those things are great results. So what you're looking at is improving your cash flow by better collection policies and increasing your sales through better advertising, better marketing, better quality products is the ideal way to improve your cash position. And the usual question is cash versus profit. So using two reasons, explain how Coa's Kites reported a net profit for the month ended, yet the cash flow statement showed a decrease in cash. Now that's an easy question because it's not limiting you to operating activities. It's covering the entire cash flow statement. Right? So you can talk about loans and purchase of non-current assets and drawings. So it's a much easier question without having to go to cost of sales versus purchases of inventory, or credit sales versus receipts from accounts receivable. All right, so prepaid rent could have been largest. That was an interesting one, but plenty of the others you could have gone with. So shelving, repayments of loans, drawings, etc., all decrease cash, but don't affect profit. Right, so fairly straightforward question. Right, so I'll put that one up and I'll change a few of those names from stock to inventory and so on, and you can check that one off as well. But hopefully you would have found that one fairly straightforward. And as I said, that's similar to the SAC I did a couple of years ago.